Finally, they let my boy off the leash. They set him free. And happy Veterans Day to y'all. Welcome to Street Scores. It's your boy Rico bringing y'all a regular season edition of Redskins Report. Today's topic, Redskins quarterback Dwayne Haskins has been named the starter for the remainder of the NFL's regular season. How much can the Ohio State rookie progress through these remaining 7 games? I give y'all statistics, great opinions, a little bit of film session notes, and some strong, optimistic, positive projections of a bright future for the kid. And disclaimer, Atlanta just started getting cold, and that cold thing done got me. They done got your boy. Been struggling for a couple of days now, and my voice has been gone all day. I kept trying to talk every now and then to see if my voice came back. Nothing. I just wanted to at least see if I was audible. And now my voice is at least kinda back enough y'all to understand what I'm saying. So I apologize, I sound like James Earl Jones at times
and Schlegel at times.
But I had to get this content out there. I was ready to start this video in the afternoon. As soon as I heard it, I was ready to start it, edit it, drop it, all that. But I couldn't. Voice just wasn't there.
Help me! Help me!
So at least my voice is kind of back. Still don't feel good, but at least I look good. You dig. Get ready to get excited about the Redskins' future. Let's get it.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
So Bill Callahan announced that rookie Ohio State quarterback Dwayne Haskins will continue to start for the rest of this 2019 season. After throwing for only 144 yards with a 68.2 completion percentage against the Bills last week. He completed 15 of 22 passes. He had a passer rating of 86.2 and a QBR of 46 with no touchdowns or interceptions. I am very happy to see him finally get a chance to start some games and develop right before our eyes. You can't get better in the NFL without starting NFL games. And Callahan, even after not wanting to admit it to the public, finally named Haskins the starter today.
Yes! Yes!
I'm still confused about that though, honestly. Cause was his strategy to not allow the Jets to know which quarterback to prepare for? We just have this diddly, very unique group of quarterbacks that play very different from each other. I'm so confused. Is this preparing for Keenum all week and then just randomly throwing Haskins out there gonna give us an advantage against the Jets?
Stupid, I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
And you told the Jets who's starting on Monday. So they still have 6 days to prepare anyway, which is the normal allotted time for them to prepare since they had a game this Sunday anyway. So I really hope that wasn't a strategic move by Callahan, because it's pointless and it failed if it is. But back to Haskins, I want to talk about some of the positives and negatives he showed against the Bills, and I want to give a projection for him against the Jets and beyond. So now we're on to the positives. Have to start out on a good note. Overall, he didn't play well against the Bills, but he also didn't play poorly. It was a pretty good start. He didn't blow our minds, but he also didn't look lost at all. He didn't look flustered, nervous, or unsure of himself. He didn't show a lack of confidence. Those interceptions he threw against the Vikings and Giants have not stuck with him, which is a huge sigh of relief. He played with poise, taking hits in the pocket while throwing the ball, and made some good decisions. He did what he was asked to do for the most part and didn't turn the ball over or force throws. And I feel like what we got out of Haskins against that great Bills defense was as good as we're going to get from Colt or Case anyway. But Haskins clearly has room to grow. What we saw against the Bills was literally the ceiling of Colt and Case and is nowhere near the ceiling of Haskins. Also, the Buffalo Bills defense is no joke, y'all. They're the 3rd best defense in the league, period. Up till the Bills game against Haskins, the Bills defense only allowed Sam Darnold to throw for 175 yards with 1 touchdown and a fumble. Eli Manning 250 yards with a touchdown, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Andy Dalton with 250 yards, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. The GOAT Tom Brady 150 yards with no touchdown and an interception. Marcus Mariota with 183 yards and no touchdowns, no interceptions. Ryan Fitzpatrick with 282 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 2 fumbles. Carson Wentz with 172 yards, 1 touchdown, and a fumble. And then you have Haskins with 144 yards, no touchdowns, and no turnovers. Haskins, after only very recently actually getting the reps, attention, coaching, and help an NFL starting quarterback needs, had no turnovers. Marcus Mariota is the only other quarterback to not have a turnover against the Bills defense, but Haskins had a slightly higher completion percentage. The Bills defense is the truth, y'all, and even though Haskins didn't look like an MVP against them, he also didn't look scared or perform as poorly as many of the other quarterbacks that have faced the Bills earlier this year did. And then, along with that tough defense, Haskins also had to deal with terrible windy conditions, which leads me to my next point. The Redskins coaches, mostly Bill Callahan, because Kevin O'Connell has recently said that he would love to get far more creative and dynamic with the offense, but Bill Callahan just won't let him. But yeah, the Redskins coaches set him up to have such a lackluster night statistically. Why did they decide to run the ball so many times on 2nd and long specifically? Why did they not take advantage of their dominant run game with AD in the first half to run some play action and throw down the field against some one-on-one coverages? Especially to Terry McLaurin, who can't be covered one-on-one by anybody. Why did they run such a basic offense, period? Especially in the red zone. I know there wasn't a Jordan Reed, Vernon Davis, or Chris Thompson out there to help the kid out. And I know they wanted to take it slow in his first start. But y'all have to let the kid slang that thing at least sometimes. The play calling was too conservative in my opinion. He has shown he doesn't lose confidence with his mistakes, and I do see the advantages of getting him up to NFL speed slowly, like y'all tried against the Bills, but I definitely prefer for him to take risks, make mistakes, and learn from them as soon as possible and as much as possible this season. I don't want him to be a rookie again next year. Let him live and learn. Also, what I got from that Bills game is that he showed a lot of potential, a lot of it. His arm talent is remarkable. He can make throws that Case Keenum and Colt McCoy could never throw. The zip on the ball for short throws is great for beating tight windows, like that throw to Paul Richardson on 3rd and 6 in the 4th quarter. And his strong arm allows him to put angles and placements on the ball deep down the field that a lot of quarterbacks can't. He didn't get to really showcase it a lot against the Bills, but it will show a lot more once he's comfortable in the offense and gains more chemistry with his wide receivers. I also love how Haskins isn't afraid to take a hit while making a throw. On one play, a safety came in blazing fast, unblocked, and Haskins stayed poised, ate that hit, and delivered a good throw with that big Haskins zip on it for a great first down pickup on 3rd and 6 in the 4th quarter to Paul Richardson, like I just said a few sentences back. A lot of quarterbacks come into the league and have to learn how to stay calm in the pocket and take hits like that. Haskins already does it. And on another 3rd down conversion by Haskins, I like how he saw his receivers getting covered well and quickly made a decision to scramble for a first down and run towards the sideline while doing so in order to avoid a hit. He noticed there was man coverage, so the whole left side of the field was just free, and he took it for a first down with his legs. Also, he showed progress in a lot of areas he was previously struggling in. Most importantly was his ability to get out the huddle in time to be able to line up and make some pre-snap reads and decisions before the play clock runs out. They worked on that with Haskins over the long week after the Vikings game, and it showed. They made it a real initiative to fix Haskins' pre-snap problems, and he showed a lot of improvement in that area against the Bills. He was breaking the huddle with good time left on the clock and made minimal play calling errors. He on average was able to get out the huddle with almost 19 seconds left on the clock throughout the game, which is a huge improvement for Haskins. And I like how he improved throughout the course of the game. In the first quarter, on average, he snapped the ball with 6 seconds left on the play clock. Then in the second quarter, 8 seconds left on the play clock. And then in the 3rd and 4th quarters, he snapped the ball with an average of 9 seconds left in the play clock. So he started to get more comfortable pre-snap, getting out of the huddle, making pre-snap reads and decisions, and even changing calls, making audibles at times, and still had 9 seconds left on the play clock on average when he snapped the ball in the 3rd and 4th quarters. He only had one delay of game, and it was in the first quarter. I love how I can look at only numbers, not even film included, just numbers, and even see how he's progressed, especially since it was done in just one game. This is a very noticeable progression, and it wasn't made throughout several games or even 2. It was made within one game. You can see his comfort level rising. Also, I loved how Haskins was given the power to change plays at the line of scrimmage. That's some really advanced stuff right there, and that's also how you build trust amongst your teammates. When they see Haskins call audibles and they work well, they begin to believe in his decision making and leadership. The coaches will also learn to trust him more and open the offense up a little bit more, bit by bit. One play Haskins changed was the play where Haskins changed the current play, whatever it was, to a wide zone run, and with the help of the offensive line, Adrian Peterson picked up a really good chunk of yards, like almost 20. He also had a play where he audibled the play and he found Steven Sims for a first down. So he has shown he can see which run and pass plays to audible to based on what the defense is showing him. He already has a decent to good grasp of reading defenses and figuring out which play to change to and how to communicate it to the offense in time to avoid a delayed game. That's really advanced stuff, y'all. That's really huge. That's probably one of his most underrated traits that I'm excited about. That's young Peyton Manning out there. What are you talking about? Also, even though it's not necessarily a positive, but he didn't get a lot of help out there. The coaches let Nas down. The weather was windy and terrible, like I mentioned earlier. Y'all saw how the world's greatest punter even struggled in that win. Trent Williams was out there struggling. But then on top of all of that, his wide receivers and offensive line even let him down at times. Along with the fact that he doesn't have Jordan Reed, Vernon Davis, Chris Thompson, or Darius Geis out there with him. Not having a great pass-catching tight end is really hurting this Redskins offense and making it difficult for Haskins out there. The run game with Adrian Peterson is nice and all. We can move the ball up the field. But when the field gets short in that red zone, who can make a play for Haskins? But even beyond that, the offensive line set Haskins up for failure some plays also. Not every sack was the result of Haskins holding the ball too long. Some of them were just the result of the offensive line letting Nas down. Also, the receiving group as a whole struggled getting open against both man and zone coverage a lot of the game. There weren't many options for Haskins to deliver the ball to throughout the game. Look at this play right here on 3rd and 10 where literally nobody is open, which led to a punt, of course. There was like no separation on that play. What was Haskins supposed to do there? Whew, me talking a lot's catching up to me now. My throat is killing me, but let's get to it. The negatives. But yeah, as far as negatives go again, his inconsistent footwork and overall mechanics showed also at times. They are improved from what he showed in college, in the preseason, and against the Giants and even the Vikings, but they are still not where they need to be yet. He still doesn't fully step into his throws all of the time, which is the byproduct of both his reliance on his strong arm and also the fact that he hasn't had all of the coaching and reps he's needed to even correct it. His throwing motion also isn't very consistent. It's cool to get cute with it at times, but until his fundamentals are fully corrected and consistent, or at least most of it, I'm not comfortable with him getting too fancy too often. It could build bad habits if he's not careful. I want those fancy moves to be just in cases and not go-tos. So just hold out on that for a little bit, Dwayne Haskins, please. Also, another negative, even though I talked about how I love his poise in the pocket and how much he's willing to take a hit to deliver an accurate throw, but there were a handful of plays where he held the ball way too long and took unnecessary hits. Some of them were sacks, some of them were not. But either way, even though he is 6'3", 230, he has to limit the amount of hits he takes. Those free shots those defenders are getting on him in the pocket will add up. And beyond just health reasons, he has to learn how to get the ball out of his hands sooner so he can make more plays. He has to improve his decision-making speed. So far, his decision-making isn't bad. He didn't force bad throws, turn the ball over, but he has to learn how to make these decisions in less time. And one hit he took against the Bills could have been avoided by him just simply throwing the ball out of bounds. He was looking to make a big play deep down the field, which I love and want to see more of, but he held the ball too long. Especially with that offensive line that has allowed a league 5th most sacks percentage-wise. The Redskins offensive line has allowed its quarterbacks to be sacked on 9.12% of passing plays, which is really bad. Ranked 28th in the league type of bad, in a bad way. So Haskins, with these conditions, you have to learn how to get rid of the ball even faster than other quarterbacks have to. I know it's not fair, but it's reality. I did see him throw the ball away when nothing was there a couple of times in that game, but that one play where he took that big hit was definitely one he should have thrown away. And like I said, I have to nitpick. Even though he was smart enough to throw the ball away a couple of times, that one time he didn't, and I have to get on his head about it. And I hope the Redskins coaches do also when they do the film sessions and the meetings and all of that. Now my projection. I hope to see the coaches show more trust in Haskins and let him sling the ball way more than he did against the Bengals, especially since the Jets defense is not even in the same league as the Bills defense. I expect Haskins to answer to the call. I expect him to accept the challenge of having a bigger playbook and play calling sheet and proving doubters wrong, especially against this Jets defense. If Haskins' first start were to be against a more formidable defense, then maybe I would have more humble expectations, smaller baby steps of progression in stats, but the Jets defense is 19th in DVOA. The Bills defense is 3rd in points allowed, while the Jets defense is 23rd. So Haskins should have a less difficult time throwing the ball. I won't dare say easier. Nobody in the league is easy. I'll just call it less difficult. And like I said, after he passed the running extremely conservative offense and avoid turning the ball over and get out the huddle and snap the ball quickly test, which is like level 1 in the NFL starting quarterback video game, I feel like the Redskins coaches will design the offense, scheme, and play calling to be more dynamic and demanding of Haskins against the Jets, which is level 2 of the quarterback video game. My official stat projection, I can see Haskins throwing for somewhere shortly above 200 yards, like somewhere between 220 and 260 yards, with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, honestly. Just watch out for Jamal Adams. And even better for me, who is one of the people who really wants Chase Young, I hope Haskins goes crazy, but the defense lets Nas down in the worst way possible, and we lose and hold our 2nd overall pick spot that we are currently in. If we can finesse our way to that 1st overall pick, we can have a bidding war for our pick and trade down to a still top 6 pick at least, get some more draft picks, hopefully a 2nd rounder, and still have a great chance to get Chase Young. We have to see though. Most importantly though, I want Haskins to go out there and ball out. Even with as much as I want Chase Young, I'd prefer to sacrifice our pick positioning than to sacrifice Dwayne Haskins' development. If we could have both, please do. But if I had to choose, I'd prefer Haskins to have some great games the rest of this season, even if it means we win a bunch of them. And in the far future, projection-wise, like going for the rest of this season, next season, all of that, I'm expecting the Redskins to finally fully invest in Haskins. He will get all of the starting reps, time, attention, coaching, and help that he deserves. The support system that even the average quarterback gets. It would be nice for the Redskins coaching staff to at least go a little beyond that average support system, since Haskins is a rookie that only has been given the keys for 2 weeks now, while Daniel Jones, Gardner Minshew, Kyler Murray, and Kyle Allen have been given everything they needed to progress and get better since at the very latest week 3. Haskins has been at a large disadvantage so far this season compared to those other rookie quarterbacks. And it would be nice if the Redskins at least tried to make up for it in these last 7 weeks. And look at Lamar Jackson. Look at what an offseason as an NFL starting quarterback, getting starting reps, starting attention, starting help, all of that can do for you. Look at what an offense built around your skill set could do for you also. Hopefully the Redskins do everything in their power to help Haskins succeed in this league, including building an offense around him to bring out the best in him. Legendary Urban Meyer said that Haskins is the best quarterback prospect he's ever seen. Unlimited potential. So it can't be that hard, Redskins. Come on now. And please, Bill Callahan, get out of Kevin O'Connell's way. Let him coach up. You're stifling his creativity, man. Leave him alone. We're out here getting mad at Kevin O'Connell for all of these conservative plays and all of this unnecessary running the ball on 2nd and long, when in reality, it's you doing it from behind the scenes, putting the cap on Kevin O'Connell's influence. Let him work with Haskins and develop him. Let the leash off both of them, please.
It's like, damn.
But that's it for this regular season episode of Redskins Report. Thanks for the view. I'm going to keep bringing y'all updates on the Redskins year around. Of course, I'm going to bring y'all some Redskins reports, some debate topics, important updates like this, mock draft, interesting views, rankings, and grades on the team, random details and guides, game previews and reviews, and of course, some live streams. Make sure y'all get in them comments and let me know, how well do you feel like Haskins will play against the Jets this Sunday? What are your stat projections for him this Sunday? How do you feel he will perform for the rest of the season? Do you believe the Redskins will actually do all they can to help Haskins succeed from here on out? Also, make sure y'all Dolomite Fake punch that like button if you like the video. Favorite the video if you want to keep it forever. Subscribe. I will subscribe back.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And most importantly, please comment and share. And again, thank y'all for the support. I swear I'm going to be better by the time I live stream on Sunday against the Jets. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.
Y'all take it easy. I'm out.